You're watching Idaho's News Channel 7. This is the News at 6.
Good afternoon, everyone. We come to you today with very heavy hearts here at the KTVB family to tell you we have lost a dear friend, a brother, colleague. Larry Gebert passed away peacefully last night following a massive heart attack that he suffered Wednesday afternoon. His family was at his side at the hospital. Obviously, our entire Channel 7 family is devastated, hurting for his family. Our prayers go to them. And also hurting for our entire community that, as all of you watching know, Larry served in innumerable ways. Larry was 65 years old, and Maggie and Brian, I know you guys were at the hospital yesterday with the family. This is unimaginable and so sudden, and we are just rocked.
It was a privilege to be there yesterday.
It was.
Mark.
Yeah.
And I know we talked about it while we were there. It just didn't seem real at the time.
No.
We kept thinking Larry was going to pop up,
Yes.
be in Monday morning and tell us a great story.
Yeah.
I was hoping that would be the case. I really was. And I want everyone to know that he did die peacefully.
Yes.
Surrounded by his family. And like Brian said, what an honor it was to be able to see him and spend private time with him before he passed away. It meant the world to me. And it was just a very special time.
It was a special thing for his family as well. Julie and his sons David and Mike were there, his wife Julie, and she wouldn't let go of Maggie's hand the entire time we were there. I mean, that's how much of a family and a part of this family Larry was.
I just spoke to Julie, his wife, before we started the show today. She said that she is absolutely blown away, but also not surprised at the outpouring from the community after this news broke just a few hours ago.
Yes.
You know, she said the governor, the mayor, so many local leaders have weighed in either on social media or texts or phone calls, and she said, you know, I knew and know how powerful and how big Larry was and still is in our community. But
Always.
She said, this is just mind-blowing.
Well, he was loved by everyone. I mean, I think everyone out there knows that. He was larger than life, and he was such a huge presence in so many lives every morning in your living room. And we just cherish the memories we have with him. 20 years I spent.
20 years, Maggie. I know.
20 years every morning. You spent as much time with Larry as you did your actual husband.
Actually, more time with Larry.
Because that is
Yes.
because when you first moved here, and a lot of people that work here at Channel 7 can tell this story, you move here, you're pretty much starting out in life.
Yes, you're single, you're alone, you don't have many friends. And
that man right there, as
Oh,
you can
yeah.
see there with Joe Paris, is the first to take you in.
He is. He invited me to every Thanksgiving, every Christmas. I opened presents with his kids. I basically grew up with his kids.
Yeah.
I was a kid myself. He was a father figure to me, and he was an incredible dad. And his family was his heart. This community was his soul.
And his live broadcast, some of those shots you're seeing right now, Brian's got a calendar of Larry's schedule that he had every single day.
Look
Well,
at
he, every single morning, and I found this in his shelf from 2009.
Look
and
at
I don't know
that.
if you can see it, but this is every day of every week filled with a live shot where he was going to be for a nonprofit, a charity. There it is there. And this was March of 2009. He was booked solid. He was booking out weeks at a time to where he would show up and
incredible.
spend 5 minutes.
Actually, months
At a time.
in advance.
And that same year, he got this plaque, and it was Larry and Julie Gebert Day, July 30th, 2009, signed by the Boise Rescue Mission, the Idaho Meth Project, Big Brothers Big Sisters, the Idaho Food Bank, Make-A-Wish Foundation, and the Ronald McDonald House. And this was 13 years ago, and he kept going. It didn't stop. He did it every day, and he loved doing it every day. He loved showing up to these live shots and putting a spotlight on some of these nonprofits, even just the community theaters that were here in town.
Didn't matter.
That was what he lived for.
Didn't matter how big or how small. If you had a nonprofit, you needed Larry to come and promote your event, he was there.
He was there, and that was his true joy. That was the biggest joy of his life. As I said, his family was his heart. This community, you need to know, he loved each and every one of you viewers out there. He cherished all the notes, the messages, over the years, the wonderful comments that he receives out in public. And so many of you have sent me messages. I appreciate that. And with photos of him and your kids and your babies. And all babies love Larry. They know his voice. They watch him in the morning with their families. And he was just a prize and a gem for this state.
If you'd like to reach out, go to this story on our website. We've embedded a link where you can make a donation. It'll go to a charity of the family's choosing.
Yes.
I know that you want to weigh in. We've got a box out front of the station where you can come and drop off a card, a note, a picture of you and Larry, because we know that Larry's touched you in some way or another.
He has.
He has touched everyone watching in this community.
It's hard not to know how much he has reached out. And I know that if you have spent any time with Larry Gebert, I was speaking with Kim Fields earlier today, and she messaged me and said, you know, there's a lineup at the gates of heaven because St. Peter got locked in a conversation with Larry Gebert. And likely that conversation started because he was telling him how he could fix the squeak on those gates.
Yeah.
And it turned into a full-blown story.
Yeah.
And those are the, I mean, it's a memory that all of us here will never forget. That if you were going to talk to Larry, get comfortable because you're in for a great story.
His adventures, everything that he's shared with us over the years.
Well, the details on a celebration of life are to come. We'll let you know when that is. In the meantime, he made the phrase, where your weekend is always in view, commonplace around here. And although he is physically no longer in view, Larry Gebert will never be forgotten, forever in view in our memories.
We love you, Larry.
Are we set? Ready? Okay. Kind of fell in love with the idea of broadcasting and working in broadcasting, and it seems like it's worked out. Well, I was always interested in it because where I grew up, there was a lot of wind, there was a lot of different things that happened. I mean, it was in Great Falls, Montana, and there was just all of this weather all the time. I mean, all 4 seasons. I've been doing other things in broadcasting, but I really wanted to focus just strictly on weather. I mean, and the community. And I really do both. I mean, I still feel that I do both of those. I mean, community activities and also the weather. But yeah, that all started right here at Channel 7 back in 1991.
What are you doing, clowning around down there, Larry?
I am. I'm down here with a couple of clowns. You're running for which office? Mayor. I'm over here by the real handlers of Elsie. I just want to know why you have to handle Elsie from the backside.
Well, just in case she releases some things that we don't want to hit the floor.
You know, it's nice, too, because, see, this guy has got like he's a great big guy with a mustache. Does that remind you, too, of anybody at all that you know? Big guy, mustache? Come on, everybody. Come on. Let's get into this. Okay. Now, there we go. See, look. And look, I have to show you guys something here for a second. See, we're gonna illustrate something. This was Roland Barris at approximately 5:05 this morning, and then the phone call from our producer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're over here at the Department of Law Enforcement, and of course the Post Academy also uses this facility. And by the way,
Actually, this all started out, we used to just come up here and water ski, and we kept thinking, well, why aren't we doing, something for somebody else?
News Channel 7's Larry Gebert and some friends have met up here New Year's Day for the last 6 years. This time, they got the Make-A-Wish Foundation involved. From there, people got pledges to raise money for the cause and made a promise to go in the water. Even Larry got on his water ski.
And I had to go over $1,000, and then I told everybody that I would water ski in just my swimming suit, and I did because I got over 1,000. Didn't make the 5,000 for the Speedo level, but that's okay. Yeah, because with this little bit of rock ledge and stuff, so, you know, I mean, sometimes pieces of rock kind of fall off a little bit, and so you gotta, you know, you get a little bit down in your face every once in a while.
Were you scared right there?
No.
That guy just fell on you.
Oh, well, he didn't, not exactly, because he's on his own rope, see? There it is, the world's shortest St. Patrick's Day parade. But, Buzz, did you get a chance to see the parade? You haven't? It's over, Buzz. Watermelon coconut.
Oh, my. Larry.
David's doing pretty good. Not bad. For a guy who just came back from Alaska, he learned something. Okay. Oh, man.
Thank you. Well, it sounds like a lot of people deserve credit for making this project worthwhile. What is Barbara saying?
She says, I didn't get a chance to tell Carolyn that you're bringing her a cake, a little sampling just for you.
Bread. Well, Barbara needs to get the last word in, and my last word is thank you to all of them.
Carolyn says thank you to you.
Thank you, Carolyn. Make sure you get it. We don't trust him.
Well, you know, I didn't get to be this size by accident, you know. I know how to eat.
Thank you, Doug. I'm Buster Bronco, and I'm going to take over the forecast for Larry. Just take a look at that game day forecast. Going to be wonderful. Not as humid as it is this morning, and certainly better than it was in Tallahassee last week. Wow, that was a hot one and a nasty one. All right, standing by here.
Yeah, standing.
Joe Paris.
That's me.
Joining me right here on the blue.
Both of us are 6 feet tall, and we are the same height. Anyways, all right, Larry, drop me down. We got to do this thing. All right.
I appreciate everybody who has ever walked up to me at a grocery store, on the street, in a park, at an event somewhere, just to say thank you, because they always come up, they have something very nice that they want to say, and mostly they just want to say that they've watched every morning of what seems like their entire life, and I know that makes me feel old, but I still recognize the fact that they appreciate the fact that I'm there for them, and so I appreciate them being there for me.
And as we continue to remember Larry Gebbert and pay tribute to everything he's done, the community is also doing that as well.
Yeah, we want to go out live right now to our Andrew Bart line. He is live downtown near Boise State with a very special tribute. And Andrew, I know Larry would love this.
Yeah, I'm here with Scott Burney, the owner of Suds Tavern, and they have a really nice sentiment here for our Larry Gebbert. They've reserved a seat for Larry all night. They're collecting donations to go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I've got to ask, Scott, why'd you decide to do this?
Well, I mean, I think it just felt right, you know. Larry's been a big part of this community for a long time, and if, you know, you've spent any time in the Valley here, you definitely know who Larry is, and he's helped a lot of people out in this community, and it just felt like the right thing to do. I mean, this loss has been very shocking, and you know, it's left a big hole in the heart of Boise. So,
can you talk a little bit about the impacts that Larry had on you? I know that you had a pretty amicable relationship with him. You got a tattoo of him on your leg. What kind of impact did he have on your life?
You know, I just think kind of the same impact that he had on everyone in this community. You know, you could argue he was like the most recognizable Boisean in this town, and I mean, I don't even think it's up for argument. He just represented this city so well, and this loss, you know, it hits a little bit different. Even if you didn't know Larry on a personal level, you know, thousands of people welcomed him into their homes every morning, and so, you know, they feel like, you know, even if they didn't know him personally, they did. It's almost like losing an uncle that, you know, or something like that. It hits different. It's a shock.
I really appreciate that, Scott. And like I said, this seat's going to be reserved for Larry all night here at Suds Tavern. They got a bucket collecting donations to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which we know Larry would certainly have loved. Joe.
Well, Andrew, thank you very much for that report, and tell Scott thank you from all of us here at KTVB. It's a tribute that I know, Shira, that Larry would love. And
absolutely.
I know when Larry and Scott got to meet, and Larry got to see Scott's big tattoo, he just loved it.
Yep, and if he was here right now, he'd be telling everyone, like, hey, go check out my stool at the bar.
Yeah, he's a man that we all love so much, and you just hear from the community that he left such an impact on so many people. And, you know, as Scott just said, even if you didn't know him personally, thousands and thousands of people over the last 20 years, he's in your home almost every day. And there are so many people that they did know Larry. You know, they'd say, maybe I didn't know him, I saw him on TV. The Larry you saw on your television, the warm, kind.
Was the exact Larry you met in person.
An amazing man.
Exactly. And his work and presence in our community was so widespread, as we just saw there. And perhaps this is just another testament to it. Idaho Governor Brad Little shared earlier on social media that sadly some people leave holes in our lives so big that they will never be filled.
And the governor went on to say that Larry was a part of our Idaho community and in the homes of many of our families every morning through his work on air. The governor giving his deepest sympathies to the friends and family of Larry. And we're going to step aside, but we will be back more in a few moments with more tributes to Larry and, of course, something he would want, an update on your weather.
From News Channel 7, time for 7 First Alert Weather.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to continue to remember and pay tribute to the life of Larry Gebbert in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to take a look at your forecast. We do have some sunshine peeking out throughout many places across the state, and that sunshine is going to stick with us just through tonight. We will see clouds increase through the day, but what that sunshine what you can't see on those cameras is the wind that we're seeing right now across the areas. You can see that we are seeing some double-digit wind speeds, and it's going to increase as we go towards the eastern part of the state, and that's why there's a wind advisory in place right now. And that wind is going to play a part into our forecast tomorrow. We're going to see those pick up tomorrow afternoon, so heads up if you have any spring sports practices in the afternoon. We are going to expect another windy system that's going to land in our area around on Monday. It's also going to bring some showers, and you can see it's quite defined offshore right now. That spiral is what's going to be our next weather maker, and that moisture is going to come onshore on Monday. So that ahead of that, we'll see some clouds increase on Sunday. So if you're hoping to sit outside on the patio for breakfast tomorrow, you'll have to do it quite early because those clouds start to increase starting around 9 o'clock, and then they'll be partly cloudy throughout most of the day. And so then those more clouds and showers move in. You can see Monday at 8:30, probably around your time that you'll be commuting to work. We're going to see those showers move in. We'll also see some snow in northern parts of our mountains, but then it kind of starts to switch back to rain near McCall and then back to snow as temperatures go back down towards the evening, and then those showers will go ahead and move out, and then will be drier Tuesday. But for tomorrow, we're seeing really seasonable temperatures across many portions of the state. We're going to see lows that are well below freezing in portions of the central mountains. You're going to see those clouds throughout many areas, and those winds will be pretty consistent, including in the west central mountains. Those clouds will be there as well. And the lower portion of the Treasure Valley, we're going to see the wind pick up in the afternoon, probably between around 12 and 4, and then a similar situation for the upper Treasure Valley. Very seasonable, nice morning for a nice brisk walk if you're up for it. But if we look ahead, we will see those clouds increase tomorrow, breezy conditions, and then we have that system that's going to impact us on Monday.
Thank you very much, Sophia. And the 7-day forecast there for you. Some really nice weather coming up this week. And the tributes, they continue to pour in for our friend and colleague, Larry Gebbert, as we all are celebrating his life and remembering one of the most memorable Idahoans ever.
Absolutely. You know, Boise Mayor Lauren McLean also posted earlier on Twitter. She said, Larry did so much more than forecast the weather. He supported nonprofits and other events that benefited the city for decades. He attended every parade and helped raise money for so many people in our community when they needed it most. Welcome back. You know, I think a lot of us are still processing and reading these tributes that continue to pour in, but for some of us, many of us, it's still kind of, we're in disbelief, if you will.
Yeah. And we're watching as these tributes come in from Idahoans and from our very own, and we wanted to share some of these with you at this time. Our very own Doug Petcash, he sent this out online earlier this morning. He said, quote, "There will never be another like him. Goodbye, sweet friend." And Doug goes on to say that Larry will be remembered for his bigger-than-life personality and commitment to our community.
And Idaho Senator Jim Risch also paid his respects online today, saying since 1992, Larry Gebbert has been a mainstay in living rooms throughout southern Idaho.
The Idaho Steelheads, who Larry was a big fan of, they tweeted out that they will remember Larry, that he was a, quote, passionate member of our community, and go on to say that he will be sorely missed by all.
Zoo Boise also tweeted out that they are heartbroken by Larry's passing. They say Larry was not only a friend of the Zoo Boise, but a meaningful part of our history. And Larry also has his own exhibit showcase there, and it's named in his honor.
Yeah,
so.
That prairie dog exhibit. And I remember one of Larry's favorite days of the year is when it would be Groundhog Day, and he'd go out there. And I remember one year we had a puppet, and Larry asked if I would climb inside of a trash can and do the puppet on television. And our bosses weren't thrilled with how it looked on television, but Larry was laughing so hard, and he thought it was the funniest thing ever. And it's just one of those moments, you know, we each have these moments with Larry that he was always uplifting and he was always smiling and laughing, and when he needed to be serious, he could, but he really just picked people up. And you can see in these pictures with Larry, everyone is smiling, not Ron Burgundy, but everyone smiles with Larry. You could see he's just the guy who always lit up the room, and as Doug said it online, bigger than life personality, and he is, I mean, he's the greatest guy, Shira.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I remember when I first started anchoring the noon here, and he would just, between commercial breaks, he'd be like, Shira, you're doing great, and just, you know, encouraging. So we'll be right back with more tributes.
Fresh out of
We're making history.
Welcome aboard, man. You gotta be a little crazy to do this. Ah!